Unicorns and glitter and taxidermy critters are just some of the things they like. They also enjoy 80s hair bands, Grizzly Adams and John Goodman, so if you think that's weird then you can take a hike. But the things they enjoy the most are making art and cracking jokes, so without further ado, here are your hosts. You've got your two artsy gals, your two artsy gals. Here are your two artsy gals.
Hey everybody, this is Katie.
And this is Sharon.
And you are listening to the Two Artsy Gals podcast. So that makes you pretty awesome. In my book.
All right.
Today we are going to talk about paper in all of its awesome glory. We're going to talk about
love paper.
Oh my god, me too. And paper crafts and different kinds of paper art and all kinds of wonderful papery things. So I thought we'd start off just by talking about paper in general, because I fucking love paper.
Yeah, paper is awesome. I mean, where do you even start? Where do you start with paper?
I don't know. Like minutes before I started recording, I was cutting out pattern pieces for a skirt that I'm making. And you know how they have all the little stuff in the legend on the patterns, like, you know, where to measure and what to do and all that shit. And I'm like, oh my god, I could totally collage this shit onto something. So I folded it up and stuck it in my paper thing. And I have a little wheelie cart that has all kinds of paper in it that I squirrel away.
Oh yeah, dude, I've got 3 of those wheelie carts.
Oh man, if I could have 3 of them. My husband gets really irritated with my mess.
Oh well, I hear you there. Yeah, I actually had to send a box off to my friend in Georgia because her little girl, whose name is Georgia, loves making cards, and she could just make cards all day. She's like 5. So I sent her a huge box of paper.
You gave me a big box of papers and stuff before you moved, too.
Yeah, I know. It's just, it accumulates. My paper breeds. I don't know what happens.
Oh, it totally does. You know that paper gets all rubbing together and the friction gets all bow, chicka, wow, wow.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden there's more paper.
Pieces of paper.
Yeah, little bits of paper popping out of shit everywhere. It's like fucking rabbits.
It totally is.
I guess we should kind of go like, you know, there's your basic, you know, I use printer paper, notebook paper. Then you can get into, you know, like, I don't even want to go into the specific papers like for painting and for drawing and for like all those.
That's a whole other episode.
That's a whole different episode. But right now we're just talking about different kinds of paper that you would use actively in your mixed media art. So again, like printer papers, or you can get all kinds of specialty papers that, like, I have to make myself stay out of that section of any craft or art supply store.
Oh yeah.
Because I can't handle myself.
Oh yeah, when art media used to be art media and they had those pieces of paper like hanging.
I would pet them.
Oh yeah, I love them. And the drawers, the big
with
drawers.
The big flat drawers of the awesome papers.
The awesome paper. I found some of that paper that I'd gotten, probably 10 years ago, earlier in my portfolio today when I was going through stuff. And, you know, I just kind of petted it. Said, hi, how you doing,
beautiful paper? There's a paper that they had at the art media when it was still art media. I don't know if they have it now that it's turned to Blick because things are arranged differently. But I used to call it like the Stevie Nicks scarf paper.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I do know what you're talking about. Not only is Stevie Nicks one of my favorite ladies,
but it's like, it looks like that gauzy, like, beautiful scarf that just, it had all these holes in it and it was kind of fibery and I just wanted to wrap it around my face and wear it because it was so awesome. Totally.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, that's weird. I used to do that thing. I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but you know that thing where you eat shit where you're not supposed to? I ate pica.
Pica, yes.
I ate paper when I was a kid and my mom never fucking knew it.
Oh. That's so funny.
Paper? I used to fucking eat it all the time. It was weird.
Oh my god, because you it took it to the next level of licking it.
It did. It did.
Wow.
And paper, like some paper, has a fucking smell that is like,
oh yeah,
I wish I could wear it as perfume.
Yeah, you just rub it on your body.
Totally. You know, one of my favorite kinds of paper that has a very special yummy smell is origami paper.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think it has a smell to it that's like...
It does. It does have a smell, and it takes me back to grade school.
If you guys could see us right now,
with
Sharon and I are both like rubbing our fingers together in front of our faces as if we were holding a piece of fucking paper. We're just like, we're fucking paper nerds. Oh my God.
Oh my God. We totally are. But what was your first experience with origami paper?
I think that I was in grades. Actually, it was probably, we used to do this little like summer camp that was an arts related camp in the town that I grew up in. There were a group of moms that threw this little thing, and we used to do all kinds of arts and crafts. And I'm pretty sure that that was the first time I ever saw origami paper. And even then, I didn't use all my paper that I had allotted to me for my project. I stuck it in my pocket and I took it home and I fucking hid it and coveted it.
That's awesome.
And I do it now. I have a big box of origami paper that I have to have like something special to use it for.
And the funny thing is, it's not that expensive.
No, but
origami
you can't always find it again if like the certain pattern.
Yeah, the pattern. Yeah, that's true. And then when you would get the rainbow one, just the solids, and there was the silver and the gold.
Oh my God, I fucking love the metallics, dude.
Yeah. So that was like super special. And you know what? Honestly, all I ever make with origami paper and all I used to ever make were paper cranes.
And you know what is fucking hilarious? I make everything else in the world, and I particularly like to challenge myself and make everything like a quarter size. It's this weird thing that I have. Like once I learn to make it, I have to make it a quarter of the size that it's supposed to be. So you quarter the paper. I cannot fucking figure out how to fold one of those goddamn cranes. Like, I can fold anything else but that fucking crane.
Oh my God, that's so freaking hilarious. So in 5th grade, that was my first exposure to it. So there was this book called Sadako and the 1,000 Paper Cranes, and we sent 1,000 paper cranes to Japan. And so, as you can imagine, you have a classroom of 25. And so we folded a lot of paper cranes.
Oh my God, I was going to say, didn't your little fingers all go like... Grr?
Oh no, I loved it. It just folded and folded. So I got really good at those paper cranes. And I loved it. Yeah, and I would do that. I would make the tiny ones, big ones.
Little teeny tiny ones, yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, I loved it. And then
you're going to have to show me like the next time that we're together.
Oh yeah.
Because I learn way better watching and doing it along with someone. And actually, it's funny. I was going to, I gotta lean over so I can get the books that I got out to talk about today. I have a few origami books if people are interested in doing origami. Because, believe it or not, you can use a lot of origami in your mixed media work. And you can make fucking jewelry out of origami. I see cool-ass jewelry.
Oh, yeah.
Made out of origami stuff all the time. But I have some books that I really enjoy. I have one called The Origami Omnibus. It's by, I can't pronounce this name. Kunioko Kashihara, I'm going to guess.
Okay.
And I'll put links to these books up for us. But it is that's exactly what it sounds like. It is an origami omnibus. It is huge. And I have, let me see, the other one that I actually use most frequently, the Encyclopedia of Origami by Nick Robinson. And it really focuses on basic folds.
Oh, cool.
That you need to learn, and it has a few basic projects that it teaches you how to do. And then there's one that I actually don't use very often, but it has beautiful examples of origami artists and like people do wet origami. Have you ever seen that work where they work with wet paper and it makes it more, I don't know, it's amazing. And it's called Advanced Origami, an Artist's Guide to Performances in Paper. And it's by Michael G. LaFosse. I think that's how you would say it. There's some mind-blowing art that is done, like masters of origami. Oh my God, have you ever seen the origami documentary?
No.
It's called Between the Folds, I think is what it's called.
Oh,
I'm going to look it up really quick so I'm telling you the same thing. It's on, it's available on Netflix. You can stream it on Netflix. It's really amazing. Yeah, it's Between the Folds. It's a 2008 documentary about origami directed by Vanessa Gould. And I recommend watching it. It's just seriously, the artistry that goes into making those, like, just making up the origami patterns and plans and schematics, it's mind-blowing.
Wow.
It really is. You should watch it. And it's not even boring, I swear. Yeah. Because some documentaries... Well, you know what? I would like to be one of those fucking enlightened people that enjoys documentaries, but most of them make me fucking fall asleep, so...
Oh, that's freaking hilarious.
I'll admit
I love documentaries.
I do too, but I can't stay awake for them, so I have to watch them in sections. I, like, go back to where I remember being awake the last time. Because it would take me, like, 4 or 5 times to watch it.
That's so funny.
You know, just applying origami to mixed media art, as I was saying before, I've made a few art pieces with origami in them. And I've even used origami paper in mixed media art.
Yeah, totally. The patterned ones?
Oh, yeah. It can be a really infuriating hobby. But I have turned into a raving lunatic when I'm trying to figure something out.
Oh, yeah.
But actually YouTube is awesome for that when I can't figure something out.
Oh, God, I love YouTube when you can't figure something out. I just
look for instructions and I'm like, oh, okay, there we go. The really upsetting thing is it's usually like a fucking 10-year-old little kid giving you instructions.
Right. But sometimes it's hard for somebody to draw those images of what you have to, like, that's crazy.
So, yeah. Origami, people. Try some of it. It's cool. Yeah. I'm obsessed with it, really. I go through phases where I that's all I do.
Right. And it's kind of meditative, really.
It really is. And again, it's the paper. Any excuse to buy paper.
Oh, yeah.
For anything. And you can order all kinds of origami paper. It's you can order anything from the internet.
Oh, but yeah.
I prefer to go look at that stuff in person. That, what's the name of that big Japanese market, the Wijimaya?
Wijimaya.
Oh my God. Have you been in their origami paper section?
I haven't been there in a long time, but I love that store and it's very dangerous.
Oh, it totally is. I know. I could go in there.
The food, the everything.
The everything. Yeah. It's crazy. We could do a whole episode on origami. So we'll jump forward from origami and origami paper. But on my personal Pinterest, you know how you get the notifications when someone shares a pin?
Uh-huh.
I would say at least 4 or 5 times a day, I get a notice that someone has shared one of my pins. And it is always the same one.
Oh, what is it?
Far and away, more than any other thing that I have on my Pinterest, is this paper cut art.
Oh, yeah.
Of the bare feet. It's like someone snuck up and took pictures of just your bare feet and the grass around you, like you were laying in the grass.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has sculpted, like almost origami sculpted shoes sitting inside of it, and it's all done in a shadow box frame, and there's a green backdrop to it.
Wow.
So I'll post a picture of it because that I'm not even kidding you. That is hundreds of times more pins than anything else I have ever pinned.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that I love that cut paper art.
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
It's so amazing. It is. And there's some links that I'm going to put up. And the first one is a link to, it's from, what website is this even? I can't even, Web Designer Depot, but they have 100 extraordinary examples of paper art, and it is absolutely amazing. They have some artists. This one's really good about crediting the artist, and it has links to their websites, but if you just scroll through them from the link, they're just, I don't even know how they do this, honestly.
Yeah, some of that stuff, it's like, what kind of razor blade are you using to cut that stuff?
I couldn't do that with a fucking X-Acto blade.
Yeah.
I'm not that good.
No, it's crazy.
It is, and it seems to be like paper art is kind of, can be broken down into a few categories. And the first is the cut art.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where you cut these intricate, almost lacy shapes out of the paper. And then you have a different color backdrop behind it.
I love
Or
those.
You even have some kind of interactive thing. Like, I don't know if you're looking at the link that I sent right now, Sharon, but they have the first one on there is like someone has cut out this skeleton and it's climbing out of the paper. They have it folded.
Oh, yeah.
So it's climbing out of the paper, and it's just freaking amazing.
Yeah, it's totally incredible.
Like, I love it. But even, like, I mean, and honestly, that's some mastery. That's some serious, like, I think it takes a special person, like someone really who's dedicated a lot of their years to learning how to cut paper like that. But, you know, even that rolled paper art, and I feel like there's a name. I was looking and trying to find a name for it, but because I feel like there's a name specifically for, you know what I mean, when you roll the paper and then you glue it down to a base. Well, there's a link to an artist who does that I'll put in here too. Her name is Eula I can't say her last name. Brodskaya, maybe? Hers are really intricate. But you know, like you have the different colored pieces of paper, and you would roll them like around a pencil, and then you glue the little curlicues down and make like flowers.
Oh yeah, it's called oh my God.
See, I know it's called something.
It's called starts with a C.
Curlicues? Curlicues?
Oh God.
I thought you were going to say clitoris for some reason.
It's clitoris paper.
Yeah.
Clitoris or clitoris, however you like to pronounce it, depending.
Clitoris, yeah.
Tomato. Mm-hmm. This is terrible.
Hold on for a second. What, August? You are so creepy. Oh, my son was passing through, and he just heard us saying clitoris paper, and he just stuck his head in and he goes, "You are so creepy."
Well, you're sitting in a dark-ass room.
Oh, I'm sitting in a dark-ass room talking about clitoris paper.
Quilling. Okay.
Well, that mystery's fucking solved. All right. I was talking about paper quilling, which is the rolled paper art, where you roll it around and use a pencil or...
They even have tools for it, like...
Yeah, they do have tools
like a really thin metal... Like, it'll have a handle and it'll have a little metal...
Because you know what? We don't have enough fucking tools already.
Right, so
we
you
gotta
might
have
as well
something
add that
special for fucking quilling paper. But those can get really intricate and amazing, and I feel like that there's something that most people could practice and figure out how to do on an attractive level.
Oh yeah, I have a friend that has done it, and she just did, I mean, she's really great at paper arts, and it's so cool that, I mean, she just sits there and rolls her little piece of paper. It's awesome.
That also feels like something that could be kind of meditative, or something kind of you could do at night while you're watching TV or whatever. You're just rolling your paper and then you save it all up and then glue it to some shit.
Yeah, or you can even like make like flowers. I mean, it's already kind of 3-dimensional, but even like more 3-dimensional if you like pull out the spiral of the quilling. Oh, yeah. You know, make a narwhal or a unicorn horn.
I love the narwhal. It's my favorite animal ever. I was just talking about narwhals the other day and how I have like 5 unicorn t-shirts, but no, I do have 1 narwhal t-shirt because I have the 2 narwhals whose horns are lit up like lightsabers and they're crossing horns.
Why do I not have that matching shirt?
I don't know, because it's from our favorite t-shirt site.
Oh my God, I have to get it.
You have to get it. We already have a few matching t-shirts because we have an addiction to Threadless, so.
I know, it's awesome.
But we don't do it on purpose. We're just like, oh my gosh, I totally have that one. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so you can, you know, there's that, and again, the paper cutting and even paper folding with origami. And then you even get into like the paper snowflakes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We used to cut as kids, and I'll have to push, you know, I never took them down. Last Christmas, I found a website, and every year they post new Star Wars pattern snowflakes.
Oh, yeah, those are awesome.
And I left them up. They're still on my sliding door. I couldn't take them down when I put away all our Christmas decorations.
Oh, really?
The ones my cat didn't murder, because anything that my cat could reach, she like ate and chewed up and ripped down and was just a total jerk about it.
She likes paper too. Now give her a break.
I can't figure out if she likes paper or if she's got something against Boba Fett. Because he was the first to go. She ripped off all the little Boba Fett heads out of the center of the thing. But if you know, just search for that. I'll try to find a link for the site. But every year they have a new set of patterns that they give away. You can print them off their templates.
Oh, awesome.
And you draw them or you print them, or what. I was just lazy and I printed a bunch out and cut them out. So
nice.
But those are really cool. There's a name for them that I couldn't find again, Sharon.
Oh, no.
The twisted paper Christmas stars. I don't know. Forget about it. I'm not even going to talk about them because I'm not able to explain them. I'm just going to cut that the fuck out. But because now we've had two things that we're like, wait, what's that called? And this is the Two Artsy Gals podcast, not the Two fucking Dementia Sufferers podcast. So, oh my God, we'll have to do one of those when we get that old, though.
Oh fuck! Oh,
we'll have to take breaks because we have to change our Depends or something. I don't know.
Katie, I shit my pants again.
Oh my God, I can't cut this out. Oh my God.
Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh my God.
But you could do paper, like, you can make paper lanterns, you got your paper dolls.
Ooh. Don't go.
No, Sharon doesn't like dolls. You didn't even like paper dolls when you were a kid?
I kind of did. There's a fine line, and actually, it was really funny because okay, so at the rodeo a couple weekends ago, Sterling pointed out that the rodeo clown was not that scary, and I was like, yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad,
That's a lie.
And I thought that maybe
it's a filthy
you would be okay
lie.
with the rodeo clown.
Nope.
No, this one, though, I have to say, I don't think he had any face paint on.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he didn't. Maybe a little bit, but he was like a 17-year-old kid. It wasn't as bad, but it was funny that Sterling pointed out, like, hey, Mom, that clown's not too bad.
See, luckily most of the people in my family share this. I'm pretty sure I'm scared of clowns just because my mom was scared of clowns.
It's probably handed down.
And my uncle her brother is also scared of clowns.
Yeah.
So we have this like family freak out thing. We're like, oh fuck, and you get stiff and turn the other way. And like, I shoved an old lady into a hot dog cart to get away from a fucking clown once. And it was awful and I felt horrible. You know the Saturday market clown that sits on the overturned bucket?
Oh,
and he's
God.
like all scrubby and he smokes and he's like, hey kid, what kind of balloon animal you want? In this like nasty voice.
It's not okay. He might as well be sitting next to the freaky ass Easter bunny as far as
Oh,
I'm concerned.
fuck that guy too. Oh, okay.
Right.
We're gonna have to do an episode just on our phobias. The next drunk episode we do, we'll talk about phobias.
Totally.
Oh, that'll be as great as whatever idea it was I had last week that you... I don't even remember what it was. I was drunk. When I said, we should do this, and I'm like, no, wait. That only sounded good in my head.
Yeah, your out loud voice again.
I know.
Yeah. So anyway,
we are...
Paper is awesome.
Well, I have a couple of books that I was going to recommend too for paper stuff. I have one called Paper Cuts, 35 Inventive Projects by Taylor Haggerty. And it has some really cool, just some really neat projects, and it has some templates that you can use. And it just gives you ideas. I buy these kind of books for suggestion only, just kind of inspiration. Mm-hmm. And then you can go, oh, hey, that's really cool. I'd like to do something like that. And then do something all of your own, make it your own project. So when I suggest books, I'm not necessarily suggesting them saying that you should get them and do all the projects in them, because all these books I buy are for inspiration. So
right. And don't forget the library too,
And go to the library. You don't have to buy them. You can go to the library, and you're right. I always tell people you could buy them because I'm a book hoarder along with a paper hoarder. So, but yeah, you could check them out at the library. It also, the mechanics, when they explain the mechanics of how they put these projects together, it will give you the groundwork to do other projects like it. And you can kind of use the base of what they've done to make something your own. And that is also the same for this other book that I have. It's Pop-Up Design and Paper Mechanics. And it talks about how fold paper to set up different kinds of pop-up stuff for like pop-up books or pop-up cards. It talks about different things that you can do, and it really just talks about paper mechanics. And it gives you a few project ideas, and I like to sometimes do the projects in here just so I get the hang of what they're talking about. But it really talks about specific ways to fold your paper to make it stand up in the way that you want it to. Mm-hmm. So you could even use this in altered books, or again, if you're sending cards to people, or whatever. But this one is by, I don't think I said it's by Duncan Birmingham. But yeah, and I'll link to those books. But you can get them at your local library. You can find them at your local bookstore. You can probably get them on Amazon, I'm sure. Pick up books, though. And look for, that's one thing that I have a lot of, or that I do a lot, is just flip through books for inspiration for projects like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, paper art is really, it's super versatile. And you don't have to buy papers either. Like we were talking about in the beginning, I have like a little 3-drawer rolly cart that I got from IKEA that I have filled with like things like book pages. And I have one drawer that's magazines, and I rip magazines out and use pictures. But I save like wrappers and Chinese food fortunes and bits and pieces of tissue paper and anything. I save paper for everything.
Yeah, for sure. That's such a good idea. You can always, I mean, in Portland, there's that place called Scrap, and you can get some awesome.
Oh my God, I love Scrap. I have stuff I need to take there. So
even catalogs are that newsprinty kind of stuff that like the college catalogs come in, or the you know, like the rec center stuff comes on. You know, that's cool stuff to use.
I just grabbed one of those today.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, I'm going to put this in my paper holder stuff when I'm done with it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, you can even change the texture of paper. Like I used to love to take notebook paper and just like crumple it and crumple it and crumple it until it became almost like fabric, like super soft.
Yeah, and you can sew it. I sew paper a lot.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds of paper. Actually, one of our project for this month for the mail art group that I run is to sew a postcard.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to sew, I think I'll use paper and fabric, but I'm going to definitely sew some paper in there. I love doing that too. And even I sew mine with a sewing machine.
Yeah.
You don't have to hand sew it. And I embroider on it and stuff. It's you could do anything with it. We should really kind of talk a little bit more about our favorite sources for like buying paper. Mm-hmm. Like where you like to, like, you know, craft stores, of course. They always have those specialty paper bins and stuff. But there are just paper stores.
Oh, yeah.
Like oh my God, don't take me to a stationery store.
Oh, yeah.
It's bad news.
Well, and there's some good ones in Portland, if you're in Portland. As far as other states, I'm not sure. But
yeah. I know we always talk about the cool stores in Portland because it's where we're from. So I feel bad because we have listeners that aren't from Portland. So.
Right. But yeah, there are even scrapbooking stores can be great. I love the scrapbook papers, those 12 by 12s, because you can they're two-sided, they're stiff, and you can rip them, and you can do all sorts of stuff with them. They're great for mixed media. And
you know, I actually have another source for stuff like that, and I didn't even think about it until last weekend. I was visiting my family on the Oregon coast and went to the Goodwill in Tillamook. And in the Goodwill section, in their seasonal section, I bought 2 huge clear plastic bags that they had like bundled Halloween themed scrapbooking stuff.
Oh, awesome.
I bought 2 of them. I wish I would have bought the other 2 now. They were $4.99 a piece. So I bought this, and they just had like all kinds of stickers and papers and little paper borders and ribbon and some stuff I won't use. I'll just probably resell it or give it away. But when I went through all that stuff and I was adding up in my head like what you would pay for that in a craft store, I probably walked out of that store with $100 to $150 worth of stuff for $10.
Oh yeah.
So check your thrift stores.
Totally.
Go down their school supply aisles, their seasonal aisles, because this stuff was in the Halloween aisle because they have their seasonal stuff out now. So check that stuff.
Yeah, totally. For sure. And garage sales too.
Garage sales, people get rid of all kinds of stuff. You know, and actually I was going to ask you specifically about this because I haven't done it since I was a little kid, but I think we mentioned once before using paper to make beads for jewelry. Those rolled the rolled paper beads, and I was going to have you, because you probably have done that more than I have.
Mm-hmm. Basically, you just cut a really, really long triangle.
Okay.
And then you wrap it around, like you can use a toothpick or one of those quilling things. Oh my God. Wow. I don't know what's happening right now. Okay, get out of here. Jesus. Oh my God. I'm going to slap you in the face. Get out of here. So, anyways, you make a really, really long triangle, and you make it the base of the triangle. You make it the width of how long you want the bead. Okay. And then you can use it. You can use a quilling needle, or you can just use like a toothpick or something and wrap it all the way around, and then it'll be sort of tapered, and then you can just glue the end. But it's kind of fun to like paint like a lacquer over it to make it shiny. Okay. Or you can just leave it, like dull, so it'll be kind of matte finish. Mm-hmm. And you can use all sorts of different kinds of papers. I've seen those when you use, because I think when I did them, maybe I did them in high school for a project or something, we used magazine paper, and it kind of has like this shiny, weird effect to it, and then we sprayed acrylic sealer over it, and they almost looked like those little puka shells. Oh, yeah. Because they were so shiny. Totally. That's a cool project for kids, too. I think that's pretty easy for older kids, minus the lacquer and all that stuff. But yeah, totally. So, yeah, to kind of wrap things up and kind of bring this back down to like a mixed media art thing, I thought that we would take a moment to talk about our favorite mixed media artists who use paper in a distinctive way in their artwork. Mm-hmm. So, did you want to go first with that? Or Oh, sure. One of my favorite artists is Kelly Ray Roberts. Mm-hmm. And I think she basically uses the same technique that I think that of the artist you're going to talk about. She, will rip pieces of paper and add them to her canvases and then paint over them, and also incorporate those papers in her paintings. You can maybe see some of the paper coming through when she wipes away the paint. I just love the way that she uses paper to create texture, but also like visual texture and textural texture, mm-hmm. if that makes sense, on her canvas pieces. Well, and we'll have links to these artists on our blog in the show notes too, just so listeners know. And who's your favorite? Her name is Jane Spakowski, mm-hmm. at Gritty Art Studios, and I'm going to post a link to her blog. And yeah, she does very similar to that, although I think she does it a little bit more in a more distinctive, or I guess just a different way. She mm-hmm. rips up the paper and puts that all down on her canvas first, and then does her paintings on top of it, and then utilizes mm-hmm. the patchwork paper for sometimes she'll use it for the subject's hair, and sometimes it'll be for the subject's dresses, or sometimes she lets it come through in the backgrounds in different ways by applying paints and washes and stuff. But I just really am always blown away by like you said, the visual and physical texture mm-hmm. that you get in the work from it. When I look at her artwork, I want to be able to reach out and touch it, but it's on my computer screen and I can't. And so you can't? Yeah, because I can reach out and touch my computer screen, but it's just all smooth. But it's, and you just can't feel it. No, but I'm always really blown away by her artwork. I love it. It's really inspirational to me. Yeah, her stuff I'm looking at it right now. It's really cool. I mean, it is sort of similar feeling to Kelly Ray Roberts, but it's different. It has a different feel to it. I mean, it's funny again. I feel like it's so weird that we're so different in this way, but I feel like that Jane Spakowski's art goes a little bit to the darker side. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit darker and more moody. Yeah. So, but I like it. That's our preferences. Yeah. But I really like it a lot. I do too. We're going to wrap things up today, but I just thought we needed to talk about paper. Yeah, because paper is one of my favorite things in the world, and it's awesome. And I know, as artists, we use it a lot, but I guess the takeaway or the message from this episode is really just to, as we always say, be daring, experiment, use anything. Like, if you have a cool, I've peeled wine labels off to save them for
stuff, or, you know, if you have anything that you see that you think, oh my gosh, that's really cool, or even a fucking piece of junk mail and you're like, oh, I like the lettering on this.
Oh, yeah.
Put it in a box and save it.
Totally.
You know?
Totally agree.
And don't eat it, because it's not good for you.
Don't eat it.
But you can maybe lick it once in a while.
Yeah, licking
just a little bit in the corner.
Just
lick it a little.
Yeah.
Careful of paper cuts, though.
That too.
Because those hurt.
Right.
But before we go today, we have the most awesome listener mail ever.
I love it. It almost made me cry.
I know, it almost made me cry too. And it's funny that we were planning this show today, but I'll tell you why in a minute. This is from someone named Dana. She didn't give us her last name. And I just wanted to read it out loud. She said, I love your show, in all caps with exclamation marks. And she said, yes, I know I'm shouting. I've been meaning to email you guys for a while, but today I had to. I had a really crappy day, and while I was at the doctor's office, I was listening to the end of the Altered Items show, and I swear I laughed out loud. You two are so funny. I really enjoy your content and the whole tone of your show, and I like that you are super laid back and you do not take yourselves too seriously. However, listening to your show made me think that there may be other cool crafting podcasts out there. So I was motivated to download a few others on iTunes. Guess what? Your show is the only truly cool, truly informative, truly listenable show. So I just deleted the others. You guys are keeping me motivated on my exercise program because I mostly only allow myself to listen to podcasts while I'm exercising. But because I love to listen to your show, I find myself making fewer excuses to skip my workout. So thanks for that. I just wanted to say thanks for the laugh today, and thanks for the show in general, and please don't stop podcasting. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for that awesome email, Dana, because I was having a shitty day the day that I received this, and it made my day way less shitty.
Me too. It was totally awesome. So I love you, Dana.
Me
for
too.
Sending that in and taking the time out of your day to write that letter to us. It's so awesome.
Yeah, we love it when you guys do write us. And I emailed Dana back and thanked her, and we kind of had a little conversation. I asked if she had anything any suggestions for episodes or anything that we were missing that maybe she would want to hear. And she, ironically, specifically said that she'd like to hear more about paper crafts.
Oh, how awesome.
And so we had already planned this episode anyway, but I'm just going to say we dedicate this one to you, Dana, because your email was so rad and it made us feel so good. We definitely do not plan on quitting podcasting anytime in the near future, because we have so much fun doing this.
We do. And as you heard, we'll probably do it into our dementia, but
yeah, until we have to take poop your pants breaks.
Yeah.
So who knows? But anyway, thank you so much for that. And if any of you would like to send us, Sharon's going to just get the fucking giggles now about her poop joke. Because seriously, people, poop and farts are hilarious, and they never stop being hilarious.
No, they really don't.
Ever. So, oh my God. Unless you have a big stick up your butt. But I have to tell you really quickly, I went to Joann Fabrics the other day because I just needed a couple of things for a sewing project. And there was a girl working behind the cutting counter that was the biggest fucking bitch I have ever seen. And it wasn't even to me. She was so rude to her coworkers and the way she talked to people. And this poor cute little gal who she's probably, I don't even think she's maybe 20, just had this bewildered look on her face like, oh my God, why is she such a clam? Was the look she had, because this person was just a bitch. I don't know what her problem was, but I walked up to I was like, oh, thank goodness, when my number was called, it was the little gal, the sweet little gal that I like that works there. And I walked up to the counter and I said, they really should have given your coworker more time off after her accident. And she goes, huh? And I said, well, obviously she needed more time to recover. And she goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, well, clearly she hasn't gotten over falling into the big pile of butt sticks she fell into. It must be awful to have one rammed that far up your ass. And the girl goes, oh my God. And she started laughing so hard. She goes, you're going to get me in trouble. You can't say that. So unless you fell into a pile of butt sticks Farts and poop jokes are funny.
God, how do you come up with them so fast? That's friggin'
I don't know. I was just irritated. That lady made me mad.
God.
I actually came up with that last week and asked my grandma if she fell into a pile of butt sticks because she was being a total. I started calling her Clammy Grammy because she was being such a clam. And then I've been using the butt stick joke whenever I can. But anyway.
Oh my God, you thought, what a great opportunity.
Yeah. So don't fall into a pile of butt sticks.
No,
listeners, you should email us at 2artsygals@gmail.com and tell us a fart joke or a poop joke. Or tell us that we're awesome. Or just give us a suggestion for show content. Whatevs. We love hearing from you. And again, all the links from everything we talked about today are going to be posted on our blog, which is 2artsygals.wordpress.com. And you can go there and check it out. And you can subscribe to our podcast through iTunes and through Stitcher. They both have free apps for whatever mobile device you use. And then you won't ever have to worry about when our new episodes are posted because they'll automatically update in your phone or whatevs. And also, we're on the Facebooks, so you can find us there, 2 Artsy Gals. So, anyway, until next week,
make some cool shit, yo!
Bye!